Hi folks, I'm Craig Taylor, and as always, a huge thank you for joining me here on my YouTube channel, the Bushcraft Padawan. Regular viewers and subscribers will know that since the beginning of this year, which is 2017, I have been undertaking a year-long tree and plant identification masterclass ran online, facilitated by Paul Kirtley from Frontier Bushcraft. The masterclass is broken up into sections or modules, and they roughly equate to each month of the year or thereabouts. We're now in mid-November. I've just finished module 10, and as I've been doing throughout the rest of this year, and I'll link to it up here, there's a playlist elsewhere on YouTube, I'll link to it there. I've been recording at the end of each of those modules, I record a short video just like I'm doing now, to recap what we've covered, what I've learned, what I've identified, what I've enjoyed, what I've struggled with. There's quite a few videos that touch upon that, and this month is no exception. So we've just finished module 10. It's the middle of November, so I thought I'd put together this short video. So what have I taken away from module 10? What I think has really hit home from a very holistic perspective, a high level perspective, is the identification value of buds in relation to some of these trees and plants and their bushcraft uses. I'd always had this perception that buds were a spring thing. They are something that would just appear on the first day of spring, and that is when you would see the buds, and that is when you'd be able to use them for identification purposes. What this masterclass has actually revealed to me is that on many occasions, the buds are there way before spring. The buds are actually there right now and have been for some time, remembering that it's mid to late October now here in the UK. You could definitely say that we are in the throes of autumn, if not on that threshold of winter. And the buds have been around for some time, and I'd never really realised that. I don't think I'd ever taken the time or the effort, and that's one of the things that this masterclass lets you do, is to make that focus. I'd never really considered buds to be an autumn/winter time identification feature. And of course the value of this is that throughout the rest of this year we've been looking at things like the shape of the tree, the location of the tree, the bark, the twigs, the leaves, the smell of some of the features of the tree. The buds are now something that I can actually add to that toolkit of identification features to hopefully make me a better identifier of trees and plants that I can use for bushcraft purposes. So in terms of some of the trees and species that I've identified, just in the past, I would say week or two, they run to being able to identify elder. Now I must admit I didn't identify the elder from the bud. Elder trees in my area are quite prolific, they're very easy to identify. So I knew it was an elder tree, I went up to it and paid attention to the buds. And whilst you may think that's cheating, actually it's something that Paul strongly advocates. If you already know what the tree is from previous identification features, bark or leaves or the fruits of the tree or anything like that, now is the time, whilst some of those trees still retain those leaves, to go to the tree, confirm it if need be through the leaf, and then start to look at the buds. You're making that connection far more robust. You're making that identification far more likely based upon the fact that you already know that it's an X, Y or Z type of tree. So elder falls into that category where I knew it was an elder from the bark, and I then identified the buds. Same goes with the sycamore as well. I was very easily able to identify a sycamore through the leaf and the leaf structure and the leaf shape and other characteristics. I then paid close attention to what the bud would look like to help me when there are no leaves left on the tree. Again, I applied the same principles to some oak trees that are in my local area, and the other day I actually went to an area that I go to quite frequently. It's an area that I park my car when I'm getting on the train, I was a few minutes early and actually realised that there was this beautiful maple-like tree at the rear of my car. So I took a little while to take a few photographs, looked at a few of the characteristics, went home and identified it as something that I've never seen before, and that was a silver maple. And again, I identified that for the first time. What I took time to do, which I probably haven't earlier on in the year, was to look closely at those buds, and then something that I can, in the future, when those leaves aren't present, I can use the bud as an identification feature. So a big eye opener this month, as I said a few minutes ago. The buds are there far sooner and for far longer than you think they are going to be. It's worth identifying the tree, perhaps using a more readily and longer term available feature, maybe like the bark or the leaves, and then looking closely at the buds to be able to make that correlation. Know what a maple leaf looks like, align that with what the bud looks like on the same tree when the leaf is present. Been a very, very useful month. Been quite short, sharp and focused in terms of the content that was in there, but for me, perhaps one of the more useful modules that they've been, and that's because it opened my eyes to just how useful the buds can be and how long they are present for and how soon they become visible as well. So once again, Paul, big thumbs up and thank you for sort of opening my eyes to that area of identification of trees and plants and so on and so forth. Hopefully you've found this video useful. We are getting towards the end, it feels, of the Masterclass. I think there are 2 more modules left. Be interesting to see what they cover and how they cover them and how it all knits together. I'm already starting to kind of formulate something of a 12-month plus plan. So when this Masterclass cohort is formally over, and I stress that word because you've got continual access to materials, I'm starting to formulate what am I going to do when this intake, this cohort is over and the next one starts. What am I going to do? How am I going to use the tool? So I'll be thinking about that over the coming months and seeing how that fits in with what Paul's suggestion is moving forward. Hope you've enjoyed the video, hope you've learned something from it. If you weren't aware that buds are actually present much earlier than what you might think, give it a thumbs up, give the video a thumbs up, and why not go out there? Why not go out and find a tree that's still got some leaves on it or that you can positively identify and take a look at those buds. You might be surprised to see that they are there and quite prominent much sooner than you might imagine. If you think somebody else would benefit from this video, you know what to do with that share button. Please do feel free to share away. And if you've got any comments or anything that you want to say about the video, comment section down below. Once again, you know what to do with that. I say this at the end of the video, every video, and I mean it at the end of every video. A huge thank you to those people who are subscribers. A really big thank you. About 60% of my viewers are not subscribers. So it would be great if you there, if you're not a subscriber and you do watch my videos on a regular occasion, or maybe this is the first one you've come across and you've thought, I'd actually like to see more from this guy, you know what to do with that subscribe button. Please hit it. A little bell icon will appear. If you click that, you'll get an instant notification when I release any future videos. As always, thanks for watching. Keep warm if you're in the same hemisphere as me, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you and take care.